Alrighty, we want to welcome you back to Beat the Heat on Sports. I'm your host, Colin Ashlock, and I'm with my co-host, Chandler Hamilton. We got our first episode under our belt, bro.
Yes, we did. It was nice.
It was nice. We want to thank you guys for the love and support that you've given us so far.
Yes.
But today we got a lot in the mix.
Specifically, we're going to start it out with a little bit of NCAA college hoops, a little bit of Coach K, and how the game didn't go as planned. Then we'll kind of kick it into some tickets that are already punched for March Madness. Some teams have already sealed a spot. We'll follow that with a little bit of NFL. Some crazy trades happen.
Wilson!
Controversial. Didn't like that. Then we'll go back and do a little bit of Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Crazy deal right there. Followed by some NBA, Victor Oladipo back in the league. Then we'll kick it into our standings for as of right now and getting closer to the playoffs. Then we'll have a little bit of a furry fun segment, if you know what I mean. So, furry fan and some not top 10 to finish it out. Thank you.
Alrighty. So let's jump into some college hoops. As my co-host said, Coach K's last game didn't go as planned as UNC came into a hostile environment. That didn't stop them from upsetting the number 4 Duke in the farewell night from Cameron Indoor. UNC did beat Duke 94-81, outscoring the Blue Devils 55-40 in the second half. The Tar Heels' leading scorer, Armando Barco, scored 23 of their 94 points on a 10 for 11 shooting performance.
That's crazy. Crazy good shooting right there.
I don't know.
That's me in 2K.
Yeah, facts. I don't think I've ever shot 10 for 11 unless I was playing 2K on my PlayStation.
Xbox is better, though.
That's a controversial topic.
For another week.
That's for another week. That maybe be for next week. But Paolo Banchero led the scoring column for the Blue Devils, scoring 23 of their points. But get this, man. 4 of the 5 starters for UNC had over 20 points.
It's a guaranteed over 80 points right there.
Yeah.
Just some math.
I mean, if all of them scored 20 points, right? And, I mean, and that was it. They would have lost to Duke by 1.
It's crazy. That's a lot.
I mean, 4 of their starters would have just played Duke by themselves. Yeah, that's not
a
good.
4v5.
4v5.
I
I mean,
like
we've had a couple of those in our past, haven't we?
Someone's fouled out.
Someone has bound to
Several
foul
fouled
out. Chandler's fouled out.
White twice.
But this win marked the first time that an unranked North Carolina team had beaten a top 5 Duke team in Cameron since 1990, when Coach Davis was a sophomore guard for the Tar Heels under late Hall of Famer Dean Smith. But here's the bigger picture. After a season of shaky performances for UNC against top-tier competition like Kentucky and Tennessee, the Tar Heels fearlessly attacked the rim and showed a competitive fire that wasn't apparent in last month's 87-67 loss to the Blue Devils. Okay, by far, it is UNC's best win this season and represented a huge boost to its NCAA tournament resume. But for Duke, the Blue Devils had already secured the program's first outright ACC regular season title since 2006 and had lost just once since mid-January, falling at home on a last-second three-pointer to Virginia. But this time, they couldn't corral UNC's backcourt of Love and Davis, who struggled mightily against Duke's pressure defense in the first meeting and couldn't manage a response as the Tar Heels made their move in the final 6 minutes. So my question is, I mean, I get you can't. It's harder to beat a team, or it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. Yep. But the Blue Devils had already secured the ACC conference or the regular season title. All right, so I'm trying to figure out: did they come into this last game? I get it was Coach K's last game, right?
Yep.
But did they come into this last game kind of lax a little bit? Or was the pressure of we want to send our coach home on a good note, did that kind of get to him?
I think a little bit of player mindset might be kind of mumbled and jumbled up. I think there's some players there for Coach K, and then there's some players there for just, hey, we're winning. We got the title secured. Let's just kind of go into this. Maybe some players took a game off. Maybe some players didn't. I think it's kind of, at the end of the day, up to them what they're really doing. I wish we could get a couple of them on the pod. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But
like you said, at the end of the day, you got to come out and play basketball.
yeah. I mean,
no matter if you've already secured that regular season title win, you've got to come out and play some basketball.
yeah, you show up, you give 110%. I don't know. Maybe they were running at 45% is what it was looking like, because UNC, without a Coach Williams, right? Coach Roy Williams is retired.
He is retired.
Without a Coach Williams, so they're kind of rolling in it right now. Sure, they're boosted up. They're ready for what's in the future. But I don't know. Duke took a night off. Coach K was there, was ready. The Cameron Crazies were ready. The ticket prices,
insane,
crazy.
79,000.
Last sold ticket was like 79 and change. So that's crazy.
But I did see on the box score that Duke had about 7 or 8 players on their bench or on their team that night.
Only 7 or 8 players?
Only 7 or 8.
Like actively played, or that were just
Actively
there?
That played.
Only 7 or 8 players played?
That were on the roster in the books to go into the game.
So they played a game with 8 players, basically.
Basically.
So, I don't know if
they
COVID
retired
or if
I don't know.
maybe they set some players out, because looking at this right now, like I'm looking at the name of Armando Barco, whatever it was. That's not a name that that just stands out to me. I feel like following college hoops, that would be something that I would recognize more. So maybe they were just kind of putting some players back for whatever's in the future for them.
I mean, maybe, but on a 10-11 shooting night,
Baller.
I mean, you that's kind of hard to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 for 11.
Oh, I had it wrong. It was Paolo Banchero.
Oh, the
that
freshman
led for the Blue
freshman.
Yes. 23 points.
I mean, he's a stud. I can't say anything different about him. He's been a stud all year. But again, you can't. There's just something
Tough
about
loss
a 10
is what
for
it is.
11.
Really just
Oh,
tough
it's a
loss.
very, very tough loss. And the emotions were high. But Coach K left these final remarks for Duke and the Blue Devils. Let's give it a listen, see what Coach K had to say.
This isn't part of the program. This is impromptu by me. I'm sorry about this afternoon. Please, everyone be quiet. Let me just say, it's unacceptable. Today was unacceptable, but the season has been very acceptable. And I'll tell you, the season isn't over, all right?
Alrighty, so with those final remarks from Coach K, not too happy.
No, not at all.
I mean, I wouldn't be happy either if I just lost to the biggest rival of school history.
Yep.
He quieted the crowd. I mean, I get they were cheering. It was Coach K's final game. But he said it was unacceptable.
Yep.
I mean,
I agree.
Which I would agree
very
too.
well stated.
You're number 4. And I get it's a rival, but you're number 4.
Number 4.
You clinched the season title, the regular season title.
Yep.
You should be able to close it out.
I believe
Be able to
that
close
is
it
a
out.
correct statement. So,
But he did say
Yep.
that he wasn't done yet.
no.
So that leads me into this. With the ACC conference tournament going on right now,
Okay.
will Duke win their conference?
I think they have a really good chance. They pulled through with Syracuse.
They did? It was
late
50
second half
55?
run, correct?
Yeah, it was 55-49 going into the half. So.
Okay. And then you got, as of when this is being filmed, by the way, they are about to play Miami tonight. So
I think they should be able to pull it out versus Miami.
Miami's unranked, I believe.
Unranked.
Duke was number 4. I don't know if they dropped any in the poll, but that should be a given just based off rankings that you should have the talent and the ability to beat a unranked Miami. So I'm going to give them the credit where credit should be due and go ahead and say that they're going to make it at least past that.
Yeah.
And I should see them in at least the
we should see them winning their conference.
I think
they'll definitely win their conference.
Mm-hmm.
But in the terms of the big dance, I don't think they're going to make it far.
No.
I think they'll win their first or second round.
Yeah.
But they're not going to the championship.
I think they're going to give as much of a push as they can and play as hard as they can for their coach. But at the same time, your talent and your skill can only take you so far.
Right.
There's other very talented teams in the tournament,
right.
And some have already punched their ticket. Some are working on that right now. But so I think it'll be pretty good. We'll see what happens.
I agree.
Well, I think that should kind of just carry us into our next little segment over here, and that is the teams that have already punched their ticket into the big dance. So these teams kind of are already including Murray State, good school. Loyola Chicago, always that small sleeper.
Sister Jean going back to the dance.
Oh yeah, she gonna be dancing it. She gonna be dancing it up.
Her wheelchair.
We got Georgia State. We got Bryant, Wright State. My Chet Holmgren, Gonzaga over here.
Overrated.
He's the next Kevin Durant. We have Longwood, Chattanooga, Delaware, South Dakota State. Go SDSU. Let's go Jackrabbits. And then we have a very controversial Jacksonville State. Take it away.
Yeah, Jacksonville State. That one baffles my mind. Only because in the ASUN Conference Championship game, they played Bellarmine and lost to Bellarmine 77-72.
Stupid.
But the Knights they're in year 2 of a 4-year transition from Division 1 or Division 2 to Division 1, and are not eligible for the NCAA tournament, making them ineligible to go dancing.
I don't think it should be that way. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but I think if you're a school that is trying to go from Division 2 to Division 1, okay, you have this 4-year period where I don't know what they're doing, like, because that's like all legal work to fill some paperwork out so we can get over there, because it shouldn't take 4 years. Or should we just go ahead and skip all this? Like, okay, you're a Division 1 school now. We're going to recognize this. We're going to put you on a Division 1 level. And if they're playing at the Division 1 level, then why are we still holding them back? If we look at, I'm not really necessarily crazy positive on what would make them D2 to D1. I think it's school size, right? Like student size and everything like that. If you have the talent of a D1 school, but you're being held in D2, that's just dumb. That's a detriment to D2 and a detriment to the school that should be D1. They have good players. Let them play where they should be playing. It's like holding a young Michael Jordan on a JV team when he very well should have been on varsity. So that's my opinion.
I mean, they lost.
Yeah.
They lost in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to be in the big dance. I think Bellarmine should have gotten that chance, but I do understand. I mean, you're making that transition. It is in the rules. But with the brackets coming out on Sunday, who do you think has the biggest or the highest chance to win it all?
Gonzaga.
Overrated.
I don't know. I like Chet Holmgren. I think he will be an All-American as a freshman. I think Texas is good, as much as I don't like to say that. I think Texas is good.
They do have the abilities.
Arizona, that's a good team.
I think Arizona is going to make it to the finals.
I think they have a chance.
With a 29-3 record.
Mm-hmm.
They're 18-2 in the conference.
Yep.
They're number 2 overall. And they have 4 people on their team averaging double-digit points.
Yeah. So,
on
the stat sheet, they should be up there.
Yeah, stat sheet, it shows that they should be able to win their games, but it is March. And it's in the name of March Madness. So,
anything can happen. I see a lot of crazy shots.
I mean,
speaking of crazy shots, though, I'm going to get off track for just a second. What was that shot from this dude that just basically just threw it on the side of his body like last second and won the game? I don't even know what school it was. I just saw the highlight.
It was,
but it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. I don't understand. But
I wish we had a video. Like, I mean, I could just reenact this for everyone right here. But it was pretty funny. It was a pretty good shot too.
Anything could happen in March Madness. It's like we said before. It's March.
It's March Madness.
There's a lot of madness going on. But that takes us to our first break. Please stay tuned as we go into the NFL and the off season. There's a bunch of trades that have happened.
Yeah.
A bunch of releases.
Yep.
And a different thing with a man who has faced a lot of charges. Or
DW. Not from
Stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to Beat the Heat on Sports. Thank you for staying tuned.
Let's jump right into the offseason in the NFL and talk about some very notable trades and contracts that have been made in the last week or two this year. So let's begin with the Seahawks of Seattle. Seahawks have agreed to trade Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson
Mistake.
to the Denver Broncos. I agree. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter. So Drew Lock, quarterback Drew Lock, whom the Broncos drafted in the second round in 2019, will go to Seattle as a part of the deal, along with tight end Noah Fant. I like that guy. Defensive linebacker Shelby Harris in the first 2-round picks, second 2-round picks, and a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, I'm not understanding.
This is a horrible pick.
I mean, there's a lot of draft picks and
Noah
2
Fant.
players for Russell Wilson. I mean, look, I like Russell. I think he's a great guy. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champ, but these past 2 years haven't really shown really anything.
All I'm going to say is if the Broncos make it to the Super Bowl and we're on whatever yard line Seattle was and we let Russell Wilson throw the ball instead of using a running back, I'm going to be burning my jerseys. But that's another point. The Broncos have been trying to find a franchise quarterback since Peyton Manning retired. Rest in peace, number 18.
Peyton Manning. Hey,
he's dead to the game now, okay?
He's not
in life. He's not in real life.
Him and Eli do bring some good content on Monday nights.
They are funny. I will
They
say.
bring some good content on Monday nights. Yeah. But since Manning's exit after the Super Bowl 50 victory, the Broncos had 11 different quarterbacks start a game. Tied for most in the NFL in the span, according to ESPN Stats and Information Research. But that list of starters includes Brock Osweiler.
Horrible.
Trevor Siemian.
Horrible.
Case Keenum. Joe Flacco. And Teddy Bridgewater.
I like me some Teddy, though.
Just don't have him slide.
Just don't let him get touched on the field.
I mean,
the whole thing.
If he doesn't slide, I think he'll be safe.
Yeah, and if he had no line, he'd be safe. But
that's any team.
Yeah, that's probably very true. Wilson's first start for the Broncos will make him the first quarterback to start for a team he previously defeated in a Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Still hurts to this day.
Interesting. But let me just put it this way. All right, I guess we can all agree that the Broncos will be a force on the offensive side of the ball. But for the Seahawks,
they suck.
Tyler, DK, get out of Seattle. I'm sorry, but Drew Lock is not your guy.
Yeah.
Drew Lock threw for 787 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. He obtained a 23.4 QBR in 6 games this past season.
That is an accumulative 787 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks in 6 football games played this year. Now, I will say Teddy Bridgewater was playing in some of those games.
I get that. I get that. But that you can't. Drew Lock is not a good starting quarterback.
No. I think he could be a backup for the rest of his career and stay as the QB2 and come in and do something decent. You know, I think we spent a little too much money on him in our time. We kind of gave him a little bit more than what I think he was worth. It was exciting at the time because we're like, hey, we got somebody that actually kind of showed up for a little bit, and then he just kind of became average.
Yeah, so Seattle, don't expect the playoffs or a wild card this next year.
No.
Because not only did you trade your star quarterback, but you released your leading tackler, Bobby Wagner.
Bye-bye, Bobby.
But I will say I just got a report that Bobby Wagner is in talks with the Cowboys, which I'm fine with.
Yep.
All right, come to the Cowboys. We will take you.
Yep.
Because we need the help, all the help we can get on the defensive side of the ball. Go help my boy Trayvon Diggs.
Or you could
Leading
go
picks.
to the Broncos and hang out with your man Russell Wilson. You know, you probably tackled him and done some stuff in time, but
No, come
bye-bye, Bobby.
to Dallas. Come to Dallas.
Broncos. But, in other words, another notable trade that was made on the defensive side, Khalil Mack.
Ooh.
The Chicago Bears are finalizing a trade that will send 6-time Pro Bowl defensive end Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Big mistake.
The Chargers are expected to send a 2022 second-round draft pick and a 2023 sixth round to the Bears in return for the 31-year-old Mack.
Bro, what is up with all these picks?
I don't know.
I mean, every trade that has been going on this week has had to do with picks.
I don't know why we traded a second round and
Hey,
a
great,
sixth rounder.
great player. I like Khalil Mack. He's a great threat. But save your picks.
I'm fine with this trade because, okay, on the bad side, Khalil's 31 years old and he plays defense. So he's literally pounding himself every game. But on the other side, what are these picks? This is a second round draft pick. Name one good player in the second round in the last 2 years. Name one good player in the sixth round in the last 2 years. I know we can say Tom Brady, but I doubt we're drafting a Tom Brady. That's once in a lifetime.
You can't forget about my boy Trayvon.
Diggs, number 7.
Second round.
It was a second round pick.
He was a second round.
Okay, I will give you that.
Okay. Hey, look. Okay, for all them haters out there, all you haters. Yes, I understand.
Haterade.
Trayvon let up a lot of yards, but my man led the NFL in most interceptions.
I think he's got a couple touchdowns.
Look,
because the offense.
he's a
can't do
rookie.
that.
Give him some time. He will develop. That's just for the haters.
Young Richard Sherman.
But in that first season with Chicago, Mack finished with 12.5 sacks and in second place in the AP Defensive Player of the Year vote. It was the only double-digit sack season he had in Chicago. He had 6 this past year. But that came in just 7 games. Get that. And he had a season-ending foot surgery in November. So, even at 31 years old, or 31 years of age, the man can still play.
Yeah, and I mean, the Chargers need help along the defensive line.
I mean, they finished 30th in rushing defense in 2021.
Yeah, they allowed 138.9 yards per game and allowed the highest conversion rate on third down in the NFL, which is at 69%.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Chargers definitely needed some help. I mean, it can't be all in the hands of Justin Herbert and now our newly contracted Mike Williams.
Yeah,
can't be left in their hands. And Keenan Allen. Can't forget about
I'm really liking what I'm seeing with this team because they have the offensive weapons, I would say. Justin Herbert needs to develop a little bit more. He's already a great quarterback, but he could get 1,000 times better for all we know. But now Khalil Mack will join the 4-time Pro Bowler, Joey Bosa. Great player. That'll be a fierce combination in Los Angeles.
Yes, it will.
So, and over the past 5 seasons, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa have both ranked in the top 4 in total defensive pressures. So
12 strip sacks, my guy. I mean, when you have them two on the opposite side of the ball, quarterbacks are going to be scared. All right? I mean, it's just like the Rams. The Rams this past year, you had Von Miller, you had Aaron Donald,
Tough.
And I mean, you had Jalen Ramsey did get cooked by Jamar Chase.
Yes.
But
yes.
you had Aaron Donald and Von Miller on the opposite side of the ball. Now you have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack.
Big Mac truck.
You have on the Arizona Cardinals J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones.
Hey, shout out Chandler. Good name.
There's some defenses that might be stepping up this next year.
There's some defenses that I think some people don't realize are stepping up. That maybe not be accounted for until you get strip sacked 4 times in a game by Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the quarterbacks are going to have to beware. There may be some double teams that happen, which opens up other players.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you double team? If you had to choose, if you were the coach and you had Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, who would you tell on your offensive line to double team?
Who's younger? That's the answer.
Joey's younger.
I'm double teaming the young man. And I'm gonna like freaking, if I'm whoever the quarterback is, say we got Drew Lock out there. I'm taking off in a full sprint to the opposite sideline and just heaving it down the field.
You might as well have the stretcher ready, because if Drew Lock is the quarterback going out against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, a stretcher is going to be needed.
You're going to have to pull in the Longest Yard movies and just throw it at the dude. Just beam him right in the face.
Beam him. But let's move on. Not a notable trade, or not a trade at all, but made a lot of noise this past week. Back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers have agreed to terms on a 4-year contract that would pay him $200 million. This would make him the highest paid player in not only NFL history, but would receive a guaranteed $153 million.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yep.
Look, Aaron, okay? You were like, oh, I'm thinking about retiring. I don't want to go back to Green Bay. I'm getting married.
I agree.
I got my fiance.
To Green Bay.
And now y'all broke up. Y'all not even getting married anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so you needed a splash of change. So let's go back to the Green Bay Packers. Make up your mind.
Yeah, but, I mean, what does that mean for backup quarterback Jordan Love?
Oh, he's done. I mean, Jordan Love is going to be entering into his 3rd NFL season.
Yeah.
He's going to have to will have to wait at least another year before he gets a crack at the starting job. Because Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Yep. And if Aaron is coming back, he's MVP.
Yeah.
He's a Super Bowl champ.
Yep.
Jordan Love ain't starting.
Yeah. And,
sorry.
I mean, you look at what happened to Rodgers when he came in. I mean, he set 3 seasons behind Brett Favre before he even took over. So, shoot. Yeah. Kid deserves it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love, rest up on the bench, brother.
Yep.
I mean, keep developing. I think you're a great player. When you came in, when you started, you had a couple starts this past season.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were that bad. In my opinion,
you were that good either, though.
You weren't great, but also you didn't have a shot, because why would you when you have Aaron Rodgers as a starter? But do you think that Jordan Love will stay and develop for when Aaron retires, or do you think he's going to leave to another organization and seek greener pastures?
Go to the Seahawks.
They need help.
They need help for sure, but I don't know. I think he could go anywhere, or he could just take it as, look, this is just kind of what's going to happen. Why don't I just ride it out? Worst case, he sits on the bench, still gets paid a lot of money, and then he's learning under a top 5 quarterback of all time, maybe.
I mean, I agree. I think he does need to stay and develop. And here's why. Because you do have a high caliber quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. Yep. Very smart man.
Yep.
He's not the fastest. He can't scramble, but the man is clutch.
Okay.
If I was Jordan Love, like, I get it. I'm a 3-year quarterback. I still sitting the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But Aaron Rodgers, he's going to get sick.
No.
Who knows if he gets hurt.
Have you seen his homeotherapy
I
thing?
get it.
That man is living till 95, guaranteed. And he might be
He's going to be in the NFL till 60.
95.
He's going to be in the NFL till 60.
I would not be surprised if Aaron Rodgers has 5 more years in him.
I'm just saying, if I were Jordan Love, I would stay.
Yeah. Stay until you're basically just told to leave. Why not?
Unless I got traded, I mean, I would stay. But with the contract being set with Rodgers, the Packers were able to keep and franchise tag star receiver Davante Adams.
Baller. The Packers were going to tag Adams regardless of Rodgers' status. He was set to become a free agent on March 16th. This allows the Packers to continue negotiations on a long-term deal until July 15th, but also have the safety net of retaining Adams via the tag. However, until any deal is reached, the franchise tag total of about $20.1 million for Adams will count on the Packers' already overloaded salary cap as his free agency begins.
But get this, man. Aaron Rodgers and Adams own the Packers' record for the most career touchdowns by a quarterback-receiver combination with 68.
Mm-hmm.
The previous record was Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson with 65.
I missed Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson is an athlete.
Boy, let me tell you, you play Madden with Jordy Nelson, there's a little
you're
X under
winning.
route.
You're winning every time.
Never seen my dad throw as many controllers as he did.
But you have, once again, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams together.
Yeah. Great duo.
I mean, will they make it to a Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it.
Maybe not.
And I doubt it because here's why. They don't have any other stars around them.
Yep.
You have look, Alan Lazard, great player. Aaron Jones, great player. But who do they have on the defensive side of the ball?
That's been their biggest problem because we drafted Jordan Love when we could have drafted pretty much whoever we wanted that could play defense. But let's get back to offense, okay?
Yeah.
You got Adams, who set the Packers single-season record for receptions at 123. Same for receiving yards at 1,553 last season. He became just the sixth player in NFL history with 120-plus catches, 1,500-plus yards, and 11-plus touchdown catches in the same season.
Oh, dude, that just reminds me of my good old high school days. You know what I
That's
mean?
cap. He's the only player in NFL history with 3 seasons, which is 2018, 2020, 21, of 110-plus catches, 13 50-plus receiving yards, and 11-plus receiving touchdowns, and one of just 3 players in the league history with 650-plus receptions, 8,000-plus receiving yards, and 70-plus touchdown catches in his first 8 seasons in the NFL.
The only 2 to ever do that were Marvin Harris and Larry Fitzgerald. Bro, that man, Larry, is an OG.
Back in the day.
I mean, he will go. He's just going to be known as one of the greatest receivers to ever do it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, besides Randy Moss, you know what I mean?
T.O.
Too soon. Every time I hear T.O., I just think of him running out to the star, celebrating,
Throwing the ball down.
and then getting clocked. But
Bink.
I don't know about you, but I'm expecting another dominating year for these two. But again, I don't think that they're going to make it far in the playoffs.
Nope.
They'll probably make a wild card, but I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just don't think it is.
Nope.
But let's wrap up this segment discussing this year's free agency starting on Monday, March 14th, spring break. Ultimately, the most important question is not where free agents will sign, but who will get to the market. 8 top players received the franchise tag this week and 2 other pending free agents. Chargers receiver Mike Williams and Titans pass rusher Harold Landry III signed new contracts. But for the time being, that leaves a list topped by 2 Saints players, left tackle Terron Armstead and safety Marcus Williams, leading a class that includes an unusually high number of talented tight ends and some big-name veteran pass rushers. These top 10 notable free agents this year include Terron Armstead, Marcus Williams, Von Miller, Tyrann Mathieu, Carlton Davis, Brandon Scherf, Allen Robinson II, Randy Gregory, Chandler Jones, and Jadeveon Clowney. Other free agents include Juju Smith-Schuster, Ronald Jones II, J.C. Jackson, Odell Beckham, Christian Kirk, and Michael Gallup. What's your thoughts on these?
I think that there's a lot of, I would say, that's a lot of defensive players.
A lot of defensive players.
And I think someone if they have the cap space, could be getting some pretty decent, some veteran, some kind of somewhat newer guys, and someone could build a good defense. Hint, hint, Packers. Hint, hint, Broncos. Let's get some dudes. Maybe bring back Von Miller.
I think
He's
I
old,
don't know.
but-
I think Von Miller is going to stay with the Rams. I think Chandler Jones is going to be with the Cardinals. I also think Tyrann Mathieu is going to stay with the Chiefs.
Yep.
I don't see him leaving.
The Honey Badger is staying in his honey home.
The Honey Badger is staying home. I don't think Odell Beckham's leaving either.
Nope.
I mean, he went
Gonna
from
rehab
a
though.
very, very, very terrible Baker Mayfield. Garbage.
Shut up. Great player.
No.
He just needs
He's
to find
focused too much on
You know what?
the
Forget
progressive
Russell
commercial.
Wilson. We would love to have you, Baker. Come join Bronco Nation at Mile High.
Hey, you know what? Quit focusing on the progressive commercials and focus more on football, and then you may be good.
Those are
but
good commercials.
but those guys, I don't think are leaving. Christian Kirk, Michael Gallup better not leave the Cowboys, because there are talks
Bro.
that Amari Cooper is going to be released by the Cowboys, which is a very, very bad mistake.
I
Cowboys.
don't know why they would do that.
Very bad mistake. I mean, look, I get it. He wasn't, or he hasn't been the star player as you expected him to be, because I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb. But CeeDee Lamb can't do it all. And I get Michael Gallup is a great player, but if you get rid of Amari Cooper, you better bring back Michael Gallup.
Yep.
Okay? Amari Cooper is a stud. All right? He's a stud. Michael Gallup,
All right.
a stud when you need him.
Whoa. Before we get into too much Cowboys, some crappy, mediocre boys, let's take a quick break, and then we'll hit back on some NBA.
Let's do it. We want to thank you for joining us on Beat the Heat on Sports. We have a special guest for this segment around talking about the NBA, Jake Roberts with the Falcon Feed. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's
Great
exciting to be here.
Yep.
So let's go around the court talking about some NBA real quick. You mind?
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited for this.
All right, so a lot has happened this week, actually. But we left last week in our pilot episode talking about the Ben Simmons and James Harden trade.
I hate Ben Simmons.
Ben made his first appearance in Philadelphia since requesting a trade over the summer, but Simmons was showered with boos from a fan base that have waited over 9 months to express its frustration to him following his rough performance during an unexpected playoff exit at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks last May in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The jeers rained down on Simmons from the moment he set foot on the floor during pregame warmups. The former All-Star spent 20 minutes helping warm up Patty Mills, rebounding and passing to the veteran guard. The only time Sixers fans cheered with Ben Simmons on the floor was when he threw down a dunk in the midst of warming up Mills. Simmons passed up an open dunk in Game 7 against the Hawks, a play that was replayed throughout the summer and seen as a major breaking point in his relationship with the Sixers and their fan base. Durant admitted after the game that the Nets were most definitely playing for Simmons because he couldn't be out there with them. Durant went on to say, "I think all of us were. We look at Ben as a brother, so we knew that this was a hostile environment and we knew that he didn't have the opportunity to play, and we wanted to come out there and have the fans focus on the court. More than always, focus on him." So they focused on the court tonight, and it's hard for you to chant at Ben Simmons when you're losing by that much. That's tough.
That is a true statement. I mean, how are you going to be able to boo when you're getting destroyed?
Will they lose by 29? It was
Uh,
like 100 to like 129 or something, right?
Yeah. But both Durant, who finished with a team high of 25 points and 14 rebounds and 7 assists, and Irving, who finished with 22 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds, also got a small measure of revenge against Harden after the All-Star guard decided he didn't want to be a part of the Nets anymore. The duo dominated the offensive tempo all night and limited Harden to a 3 for 17 performance.
James Harden.
He is
Overrated.
not clutch against his former teams. We were looking at a stat earlier that said he's one of the worst all-time players playing against his former teams.
Wow, that's a good stat. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I know, yeah, it's a crazy stat to have, and not one that you would want.
No, yeah, I would love to be on any stat sheet in the NBA, but not that one. That's for sure.
He went 0 for 10 on 2-pointers and only had 11 points.
Dog.
But in the end, Brooklyn Nets got the last laugh, winning 129-100.
Good game.
I don't know about that.
Well, good game, Nets. I mean,
yeah, good game for the Nets.
great game. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Okay. So let's move on and check out the LA Lakers and the Houston Rockets.
They're
Oh,
the
man.
laughing stock of the league. Both of
Oh
those
yeah,
teams
for
most
are
definitely.
sure.
horrible.
They are a complete joke, complete and total joke. And the Houston Rockets are even worse, but somehow they ended up winning. So
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
yeah, a triple-double from LeBron James and a high-scoring effort from Russell Westbrook weren't enough to halt the Los Angeles Lakers' self-destruction tour, with Wednesday's 139-130 overtime loss to the Rockets being the latest lowlight in a season full of them. It's been a wreck.
You had
For
to
them.
go into
Go
overtime
Rockets.
versus the Rockets. The only player on the Rockets is Jalen Green, and he's a rookie.
Yep.
And even if they had beat them in overtime, it's still sad that they had to go to overtime.
Rockets are the worst team in the league.
Rockets
Yes.
they're not even anywhere close
They're not
to
even
the
close
play-in
to the
tournament.
play-in, yeah.
Yeah, no. I was looking at that, at the play-in tournament and everything like that, which I think is still stupid that we do a play-in tournament to get in.
It's to try
wherever.
to get teams like the Lakers in.
Yeah,
Because right now
exactly.
they're not going to get in, and LA brings a lot of.
But hold on. LeBron still wants to fire the guy who thought of that idea. Have him to fire himself.
Tough.
Yeah. So the Rockets started the extra session on a 10-0 run and ended up shooting 7 for 8 as a team from the field, including 5 for 5 from 3.
Lighting it up.
LA had a chance to avoid overtime when James drove the left wing towards the hoop with the score tied.
Easy
120
layup.
to 120. Yep. And the final seconds ticking off, but this pass out to Anthony resulted in a 22-foot jump shot that missed at the buzzer. And that was-
LeBron, look, I was listening to Stephen A. this morning, and I have to say I agree with him. You can't be in a GOAT conversation after this year.
You can't. Well,
Look, I don't care. I don't care. Look, you can't be called the GOAT and playing as bad as you are right now.
I don't.
I mean,
like
look, I
LeBron,
get-
but he's still a goat.
I get the stats have you add a triple-double, okay? Triple-double's nice. But, my man,
Must be nice.
you had the game-winning layup. It was open. There's no way, as big as your stature, that you should be able to, or that
could
you
have
would
dunked
blown
it.
the layup.
You
You
could have
probably would have dunked on somebody.
Yeah. Well, LeBron be like, "Oh man, I'm a team player, man. I always wanted to give Carmelo a shot." No, cap.
Melo.
Win the
Melo,
game, LeBron.
Brick house.
Ow.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know what to say about this team. They're so disappointing. And I remember everyone was talking about them at the beginning of the year. It's like, there's no way the Lakers can, like, lose
Yeah.
anything.
I
And-
literally thought that they were going to be playing like the Warriors as soon as Clay came back. I thought it was going to be the Warriors and the Lakers in contention
Yeah,
to go to the finals, and ended up not.
I think everyone did. So, yeah, I don't know.
But by the end, the Lakers lost for the 6th time in 7 games since the All-Star break, and this time against Houston team that came into the night with the worst record in the league.
Horrible.
Even with the win over the LA Lakers, the Rockets are still 32 games under 500.
They are tanking for Chet Holmgren, is what this is.
Wow.
They're trying to get whoever they can.
Yeah, they need a player.
Yeah, they need something.
And somehow they can still beat the sorry team, the Lakers.
Maybe Russell Westbrook should go back to Houston then, if they're just pulling out this. I don't know if they would even take him because they have Jalen Green.
He'd probably be, like, terrible with Houston.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, but speaking of Russell Westbrook, okay, I don't know if you guys heard, but he
His
came
name
on
is
to
shamed.
Yeah, he's come on to the reporters and has said he's offended by the name Westbrook. He believes it's shaming his entire family's
Play better.
legacy. But I mean, I think Magic Johnson said it best.
Tragic
I'm
Bronson.
tired of the excuses. It's time to take ownership and say I've just been playing poorly.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, so I did hear about that, and actually the reason he said that is because there were some reporters that were saying that to his kids. and
I
not
get
to
it.
him.
You gotta step up for your family. That is
Which I get that a little more than just like being. It feels selfish if it's
Yeah.
just about him, but if it's about
Right.
his kids, I
Right,
get
if
it a
it-
little more.
again.
Yep.
If it was against my family, if
Yeah.
it was against my 10-month, my daughter's 10 months old right now. But if I was in the NBA and I was playing bad and I was getting threats against my family and stuff like that, yeah, I'd be pretty mad too.
Yeah, he's had death threats.
But
That's wild.
you are a star player. You are known as Mr. Triple Double, and you haven't done anything for the Lakers.
I wonder what Oscar Robertson thinks about him right now. But hey, here's
That's
my
fascinating.
take on the whole my family thing. If I'm working a job, and I'm providing for my family, and I do horrible at that job, and I get fired, that's on me. The company firing me, that's my fault. So Russell Westbrook doing horrible and getting hate for it, or obviously the death threats and all that, that's way overdone. But like him just getting clapped back and him being told to do better by Magic Johnson or by his teammates or anyone, that's on Russell Westbrook, or Westbrook, I should say. Don't want to offend his
yeah,
family.
you don't want to offend him. He doesn't like that.
But I mean, just be better, man. You're
Yeah.
getting paid X amount of millions of dollars every year to do your job. Do your job, man.
They're getting paid more than any of us probably will in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Probably all
Almost
three of us combined.
Yeah, if you add all of our money up for the rest of our lives, Russell Westbrook probably makes that in a year.
You make that in a game.
No, he's only
Well,
making
he makes like
a couple $100,000 in a game, probably. or
which is
something.
like a yearly.
yeah, no, I don't even make that.
It's true.
It's crazy.
But needless to say, the Lakers are in trouble, still sitting at the 9th seed.
Okay, so what do you think the chances of them making the playoffs are? Do you think they'll win the play-in?
They-
do you think they'll make it into?
I think
are
they'll
they
make
gonna
the
play
I
in
think
the
they'll
play-in?
make the play-in tournament.
I think right if it were to end
they will
today,
play
they play
the
the Pelicans.
Clippers.
The
Oh, the Clippers.
They will
Oh,
play
no,
the
I got Clippers. I
and
got the
there's
Clippers.
no chance that they beat the Clippers.
No, watching the Clippers, Reggie Jackson has been pretty decent for the Clippers this year. I would say that the Clippers take that all day.
As long as the Mavs don't play the Clippers in the first round of the playoffs again,
Yeah, I hate.
I'll be okay with it.
Well, let's go over to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are the first to clinch a spot in this year's playoffs after their 111 90-90 win over the Miami Heat, which is another great team in the league. Devin Booker scored 23, and Mikal Bridges added 21 to clinch that berth. By the end, the Lakers lost for their sixth time in 7 games in the All-Star break, which just kind of helps the Suns, I think, because if you look at it, I mean, you go from a team like the Lakers being up there close to the Suns, and now they're, a million times lower than the Suns. Since the bubble, the Suns have just been booming. And the Suns were down early by 11, took a 2-point lead at the half, and then outscored Miami 34-19 in the third quarter to blow matters open. Booker capped the quarter with a long three-pointer. He went 1 for 8 in the quarter from beyond the arc.
Oof.
And it was 91-74 going into the final 12 minutes. Miami came out flying, scoring 25 points in the first 6 minutes. A burst of fuel by 5 3-pointers. The Heat were 9 for 12 from the floor in that stretch, 5 for 6 from 3 range, and finished the burst by making 7 consecutive shots.
That helps.
Yeah, but that's when Phoenix defense showed up. The Heat were then 5 for 27 on threes for the rest of the way. An 18-7 run by the Suns pushed the margin 80-65 late in the third, and the lead eventually swelled to 27 in the fourth.
Honestly, coming into that game, I thought that could possibly be the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
The Suns versus the Heat. That could possibly be
For
the
sure.
NBA Finals.
yeah, I can see that.
I think the
After-
NBA, it kind of, the series work to the favor of the better team usually, and so that's why it's a lot easier to predict who's going to be in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing that game, honestly, like, look, you have the Phoenix Suns. If Chris Paul comes back to 100%, and you have Chris Paul, you have Devin Booker, they'll take over the game. They'll win it. They'll sweep the team. They'll win in 4. That's just what's going to happen. If it was, say this was the NBA Finals and it was the Phoenix Suns versus the Miami Heat, I'm not counting the Heat out because Jimmy Butler can take over a basketball game once he gets hot. If you're shooting 5 for 27,
Horrible.
don't expect to win a basketball game.
I think I think if that were to be a series, I would see the Suns winning in 6 or 7.
I'm gonna say 6, and here's why. The Heat are good.
I see the Mavericks winning.
You would need some Luka magic.
You would definitely need some
That's
Luka
why
magic.
he's Luka Magic.
I know.
But
We got rid of the unicorn.
yeah, but I see the Heat. I see the Heat going to 6 games, taking the Suns to the 6 games. But I don't think they're going to win. Here's why: because of Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Bam. They're great. They're all good shooters, but they're not consistent.
Yeah, I agree. But just an all around good team is just going to be like that. I mean, you have a team with a few stars and then just a great supporting cast. So, I mean, it's just going to fuel them into being at the spot they are in the league right now and for the standings they have. But with that being said, let's take a look at the standings as of right now.
So with the Eastern Conference, you have Miami at number 1, Milwaukee at 2, Philly at 3, Chicago at 4, Boston 5, and Cleveland at 6. In the Western Conference, your top 6, you have the Suns at number 1, Memphis at number 2, Golden State at 3, Utah at 4, Dallas at number 5, and Denver at 6. But do stay tuned because there are some games that are going on tonight. You got the Clippers versus the Hawks. Mavericks are facing the Rockets. Please
better
don't lose to
blow
the
them out.
Rockets.
Don't play like the
Do not play like the Lakers. You have Cavs playing the Heat, would
I'm
be
honestly going to think that's a good game.
it would be a good
Cavs
game.
are kind of scary
The
right now.
Cavs are very interesting.
You have the Suns playing the Raptors
Good game.
and Wizards playing the Lakers.
Yeah.
Wizards
Let's go Wizards.
beat the Lakers.
I think they actually will win. So
But-
I love to see the Lakers collapsing. It's fun to see when those teams that are supposed to be really good aren't.
yeah,
I think everyone feels the same.
yep, not living up to their true potential.
I agree. But at this time, we want to thank Jake for coming on to the
Thank you, Jake.
feed. Thank you for coming on to this segment of the NBA. Do check out their channel, the Falcon Feed. Give them a shout. Go like and subscribe their channel. Show their love. Give them some love and support. But at this time, we're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to come back with another with a little fun segment. We got a furry friend that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then leave you guys with a not top 10 of the week. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Beat the Heat on Sports. Thank you for staying tuned. I want to bring you a little fun segment in this last
Furry segment.
little bit furry segment to wrap this thing up. My co-host kind of just nailed it off already.
Yeah.
A furry friend was there at a high school basketball game.
Little wabbit action. Little wabbit.
Wabbit season. Bugs Bunny showed up to a basketball game. He did not play. The Monstars were not on the court.
But, somehow I heard he still has better stats than LeBron.
Oh, most definitely. Look, LeBron, you may need to sign trade the turtle for a bunny.
Yep. No more Franklin the turtle.
No more Franklin. Sign Bugs Bunny because I think that's the only possible way that you get into the NBA playoffs and have a chance for a championship. You
Brow and the bunny with the Bron.
You
the
got-
triple B's. Oh wait, that's already taken.
That's already taken, but yeah, I think Bugs Bunny would definitely do better than Franklin the turtle.
No more turtles.
No more turtles,
Slow.
please. But at this time, we want to show you a not top 10 real cap off this episode. So enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed that little segment of a not top 10. But I do want to open the floor up to you guys and have you guys send us some comments of what you would like to see in the next episode. Let us know. But at this time, I want to thank you guys for joining us on Beat the Heat on Sports.
Tune in every Thursday to catch the latest around the leagues.
This is Beat the Heat on Sports. I'm Colin.
This is Chandler.
And we'll see you guys next week.